just like you and I was pretty scared. I was definitely nervous that I would get lost since I had never been, on campus. At least not. The last time I had been on campus was when I was a kid, for HESTEC and stuff like that. I was like maybe a young teenager at least. So there was definitely this feeling of dread. Like I was excited, but I felt, oh my, what if I just get lost? I really do. I mean, I feel like it isn't too stressful. I feel like it isn't boring. I like the campus, the whole like layout, just walking around. It isn't too small and it isn't too big. I definitely feel like there has been more, what's the word that I'm looking for? The letdowns are very small compared to the expectations that were actually met, like from teachers actually teaching you something to you meeting great people. I feel like I'm enjoying it, yeah. My favorite thing about coming to school, or being a student at UTRGV, is that I get to interact with other students and ask the teacher questions without feeling that I'm some prisoner. I don't know, I feel like in the majority of my classes, or all of my classes, I feel very at home, and that I'm respectful, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if there's a question, I can just ask it, it's all a matter of whether I want to ask it or not. I mean, I like the... Gosh, where do I start? I like it, yeah, I like it, I really do. I think what needs to be changed are certain professors' policies on tardiness. I think it's awful of them to lock a student out. I mean, sometimes something might occur, like a fight at home or heavy traffic, or maybe they have insecurities and they were having some kind of anxiety attack. So instead of saying, once you're locked out, you can't come in, I think it's best to still mark that they were there, because ultimately, even though they might be trying to cheat the professor and saying, I'm here, let me sign in, by only showing up for 5 minutes, it will affect them ultimately when they take exams and finals and things like that. I mean, especially if like everything that ends up on exams deals with like lectures and just I think some teachers need to be more open-minded to that, a little more lenient. That's how I would be if I were a professor. I wouldn't mind. I mean, sure, it might bug me, but I'd do my best to just turn the cheek and just say, maybe something happened, Tips for incoming freshmen: definitely do not procrastinate. Watch out who you enter groups with, because although somebody might look smart, they might disappoint you. They might not do a lot of the work. They might just pile it all on you. Find out about them. Find out, like, are you free? Do you have a job? And don't be afraid to really be honest and say, I'm sorry, I choose to work with people who aren't working in a job, because I want people who can really dedicate their time. That's another tip. Just to really communicate. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to look people in the eye, and just communication is key, because if you don't talk clearly, or if you don't state, even if you stutter, it's fine, but just state what's on your mind. That way, whoever you're talking to can know what it is that is bothering you, or whatever you need help with. I mean, that's a tip of mine. Just put down your phone, avoid social media. That's a pleasure. Priorities before pleasure, and just train your mind into thinking that this homework assignment, like, instead of saying I hate it, is boring, just lie to yourself if you have to and say this is super fun.